You ever been in a room with someone who just has it? They're not wearing flashy logos, they're not talking about money, but there's just something about them, right? An energy that makes everyone else kind of lean in. Okay, let's get into this, because what we're really talking about here is the new invisible currency of status.
And that really is the heart of it. It's this quiet confidence, this calm energy that people just pick up on, almost subconsciously. See, it's not about what you own, it's about how you carry yourself. But where does that behavior actually come from? Well, the answer might just surprise you, and it all starts with a story.
$8 million. When a guy named Ronald Reed passed away back in 2014, this is how much his fortune was worth. And the really shocking part, for most of his life, he worked as a gas station attendant and a janitor. So you gotta ask, right? How does a man on a pretty modest salary end up with an $8 million fortune that even his own family had no idea? This isn't some story about winning the lottery. It's a story about a system. And that system? Well, that's the hidden engine behind the behaviors we so often mistake for old money or inherited wealth. So to really get this, we first have to just tear down what we think wealth looks like versus what it actually is. So on the left, you've got everything you see on social media, what we could call loud money. It's a performance, It's all designed to get likes, to get validation from the outside. But real financial security, the kind that creates that deep, genuine confidence, that's over on the right. It's quiet. It doesn't need an audience because it's not fragile. The need to broadcast is just gone. So how do you build that quiet security?
Well, it all comes down to building one thing, something called financial margin. This is the bedrock, okay? This is the mechanical system that powers everything else we're going to talk about. The formula for wealth is so simple, it's almost deceptive. And here it is. The single biggest factor in building wealth isn't the size of your paycheck, it's the size of your cash flow. That gap between what you bring in and what you spend. True wealth isn't the fancy car or the designer clothes, it's the money that's still in your account, quietly working for you.
And here is the absolute foolproof system to make that happen. You put it on autopilot. Your paycheck lands, and then bam! Before you can even think about it, a set amount is automatically whisked away to your savings and investments. Then, you just live guilt-free on whatever is left. No agonizing over budgets, no tracking every single coffee. You just engineer the right behavior from the very start. And this is so crucial. Because look, willpower is a finite resource. It's like a battery that runs out. Automation just takes willpower out of the equation. It makes saving your default setting. You end up building wealth not through constant grinding discipline, but through a smart, simple system. Of course, this system only works if you stop the one thing that destroys wealth faster than anything else.
In this slide just perfectly illustrates the danger. That 10 grand you borrowed, it doesn't just cost you the 27,000 you eventually pay back in interest. No. The real cost, when you factor in all the growth you lost by not investing that money, is over $90,000. High interest debt doesn't just cost you money, it costs you your future. It's a massive anchor holding you back.
And that future is powered by this one almost magical force, compound interest. Just look at this. Waiting just 10 years to invest the exact same amount of money costs you over $500,000 in the long run. That is just staggering. Time is your most critical ingredient. Ronald Reed didn't get rich quick. He gave his money decades and decades to grow.
So, once you've built this financial engine and it's running smoothly in the background, something amazing starts to happen. That internal security, it doesn't stay hidden. It starts to express itself naturally and without any effort through your behavior. Let's take a look at what those quiet signals are.
This right here is the key. The behaviors we're about to go through, they aren't an act. This is biology. When you have months and months of expenses saved, your body literally exits survival mode. Your stress hormones drop, your breathing actually slows down. You're not acting confident. Your body is physically manifesting security. And you can actually hear this security. There's a verbal discipline to it. For instance, money becomes a private matter, not a topic for casual conversation. Speech gets cleaner, more purposeful, because thoughts are more organized. And you'll notice that complaining about little things, like the price of gas or coffee, it just disappears, because those small problems no longer feel like major threats. You can also see it in their physical presence. Their movements become unrushed, creating this sense of time abundance. Clothing choices shift away from loud branding and towards quality and fit. And maybe most importantly, privacy becomes a luxury. When your life is genuinely secure, you have something worth protecting, not something you need to perform for strangers online.
Okay, so let's put this all together. Imagine two people, same income. You've got Peter, who has maybe $300 in savings. His body is tense, his energy is anxious, and he needs that validation from others. Then you have Richard, who has a year of expenses saved up. His body language is relaxed, his confidence is just calm. Now, who do you think gets the promotion? Who do people trust more? It's not about their bank account, it's about the behavior their financial position naturally creates.
Which brings us to the final and honestly the most important point of all of this. What is the actual goal here?
Is this all just about faking it? About learning a set of behaviors to try and trick people into thinking you have money?
Absolutely not. The behaviors are the symptom, not the cause. The ultimate goal isn't to look rich, it's to build a life where you have options. The ability to walk away from a job you hate, to handle an emergency without panic, to say no to things that drain you. You are buying freedom, not status.
And that brings us right back to Ronald Reed. People saw his frugal habits and probably just thought he was cheap, but they were missing the point entirely. Every dollar he saved wasn't a dollar he was depriving himself of, it was a unit of freedom he was buying for his future. He was not cheap, he was free. And that's the real lesson. The ultimate status symbol isn't what you can buy, it's what you no longer have to do.